Hey guys, it's your boy Say Adrian from Elite Educators, and this is day 2 of me reading from my book that is soon to be released on next week, Wednesday, about studying and hacking the SEA exam. The book itself will be launched at a special price of $150, and it is packed with everything I've ever known as a teacher at Presentation College, DB High, principal of Elite Educators, everything I've learned and my fellow teachers have learned about studying, and it's not just for SEA students, it's for anybody who's studying, even some of my former students who are at university. It will help you. So let us read. This is chapter 3 about like routines and building that circadian rhythm and basically like having a particular time to study. So let's read. So first tip, get to bed early. Your brain consolidates, that just in brackets stores memories while you sleep. A good night's sleep is worth more than 3 hours of extra studying. Aim for at least 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Now, guys, I really wanted to put 6 to 7 hours because you guys know when you say 6, 7 in front of any student, they go absolutely ballistic. So I wanted to put 6, 7, but honestly, realistically, for kids that age, 8 to 9 hours of sleep is perfect. Now, I'll just put down the book for a second. When we sleep now, again, you guys know I'm a super nerd. I've studied all of this. I got the UWE Open Scholarship. I did extra. You guys know my resume. You guys know my past. And think of it as during the day, when we just being awake, our conscious mind stores information. We would like learn new formulas, read new comprehension passages, write a new essay, study from a textbook. And I like to think of it as, let's say you're a library, and during the day, these big trucks with books just come and they dump all the books in the library. But as you sleep, your brain, and this is what scientists theorize, think about it as a mini librarian that comes into that library, sees all of these books just strewn on the floor, on the table, on the chair, and this mini librarian organizes that information so our brain, our conscious mind, can actually pull that information quickly. And if we don't get enough sleep, you as adults, as parents, you know, if you don't get enough sleep, you might feel confused. You might feel you might feel like it's difficult to remember stuff, remember names, remember how to do things. So that's why a huge focus of the book is proper sleep. Right? So aim for at least 8 to 9 hours of sleep. If you feel too excited to sleep, that is okay. Just lie quietly and rest your body. For parents, keep the evening calm and positive. Avoid talking about what scores they need to get. I know it can be tempting, but no. Instead, tell them, if, for instance, I love how hard you've worked. I believe in you. So reassure that no matter what happens, they will still have your love. You'll still be confident. One tip that my dad, who passed away last year, what he told me was this, and I thought this was really interesting. He told me when I went to write Common Entrance 5 billion years ago, he said to not think of it as the exam. If you think of it as the SEA, or back then Common Entrance, you would get scared, you get nervous, you'll have anxiety. He asked me how many practice tests we did in Grant Memorial Presbyterian School, and I told him it was like 20 practice tests we did. He said, think of SEA as practice test number 21. And by reframing that situation, you know, like all of the fear, anxiety, just drops because of the fact that you're not thinking of it as this life-changing examination. All right, so morning of the examination. Just by the way, I really try to spoon feed students with this book. So everything that you could think about is in this book. So if you don't know what to do for the morning, yeah, it is in this book. It is everything I know. It literally is. After this book, there's not going to be a next book. This is everything. All right, so morning of the exam. Good morning. Today is your day to shine. Fuel your brain. So, okay, I'll read it and then I'll tell you guys my thoughts on it. Eating a healthy breakfast, you want slow burning energy that will last the whole exam. So, good choices: eggs, toast with peanut butter. When I used to do cycling, mountain bike riding, peanut butter was our secret weapon, right? Oatmeal, or fruit and yogurt. Not if you're accustomed to yogurt, yes. If you're new to yogurt, no, don't. Just something you're accustomed to. Avoid sugary cereals, most of them, like except Raisin Bran, or heavy greasy foods that might make you feel sleepy or sicker. Why does just doubles come to mind? Just for that one day, no doubles. The reason being is you guys know the three basic food groups, and yes, I'm a chemistry secondary school teacher, so I know this really good. Sugars, carbohydrates, they use up really fast. So you'll get a spike of energy, but as soon as the middle of the maths, the energy just starts to like diminish. But with things like proteins or cereals or like wheat-based carbohydrates like whole wheat bread, the oatmeal, that would spike the energy but sustain it for a much longer period of time. They would be able to have energy for the whole exam, not just a huge spike, like if for instance you eat like corn, what's it one, sugary coated cornflakes, frosted flakes, you get a huge spike and then you'll crash directly after. And this is important. Even something like doubles, it might cause the stomach to feel queasy, they might have to use the bathroom, it will take up time. So avoid sugary cereals or heavy greasy foods that might make you feel sleepy or sick, because with those heavy greasy foods, our body will send all of the blood to our stomach to digest it, and it will take away from blood going to our brain, which is where we want the blood. All right, arrive early. Plan to get to the exam center early. Rushing creates stress. Being early allows you to find your seat, go to the bathroom before, and settle in. This is very important. I remember back then my mom had this old Mazda 323, and guys, no joke, like that never had a flat. Woke up in the morning, flat, calves giving trouble. A neighbor had to actually carry me to SCA. That was just wild, right? So next paragraph, and guys, just by the way, this is like a lot of information. Stay in your bubble. When you get to school, you might see friends who are panicking or talking about how scared they are. And remember, emotion is contagious. How many times, let's say you travel or go to a beach climb or something, and if you have a friend who, or a hike, recently last year I went to a hike. I didn't know anything about hiking, but one of my friends who introduced me to hiking, he was confident, he knew the route, he had first aid kit, he had extra snacks, he had extra water. And because he was confident, I felt confident. Now, think about it. If I went and the person who I went with was panicking and like, oh no, I never do this before. What if it have something blocking we? What if we get lost? So always like try to stay in that little bubble. So friends who are panicking or talking about how scared they are, it is okay to say hello. I mean, you have to be courteous, you have to be friendly, but try to stay calm in your own bubble. Don't let their nervousness jump onto you. If you need to, all right, one, focus on deep breathing. That's a technique I use in this book as well. I learned this Navy SEALs use something called box breathing. Now, okay, last tip, and then because the thing is, guys, this book has tens of thousands of tips. I could go on for like a month teaching you guys stuff, and when you guys buy the book, you guys will be like, "What? I did not know this was real." So Navy SEALs, I actually use this on a lot of my friends who like they had like big problems in life, and I told them a couple of things. One, box breathing. That's when you inhale for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4. For instance, so inhale for 4. And the reason being is that even though we are modern, we have cell phones, we have Roblox, we have all of this tech, we still have parts of our brain that were adapted from the cavewoman days a long time ago. And if there is something like a stressor, let's say you're in the forest a long time ago, thousands of years ago, and a huge lion or tiger just jumps out at you, you would start to be panicked, you'd start to breathe really hard, and you'll start to like huff and puff because fight or flight, adrenaline will start kicking in, you'll start to get scared. But there's no way you could be in danger if you breathe calmly, like inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4. So the trick is, by us breathing calmly, our brain will automatically think, okay, there has to be no danger. Because if it was danger, if the essay exam was really scary, then you'd be like, breathing faster. So if you feel nervous, by just adjusting your breathing technique, you will have that advantage, right? You see, the stuff I'm telling you guys, it will help everybody, like not just students, right? Okay. So, during the exam, once you are seated and the paper is in front of you, remember, it's just a paper. You are the boss, alright? So read the instructions twice, and trust me, I have a whole chapter on this. So this is the most common mistake students make. They rush to answer without reading what the question is actually asking. All right, and trust me, guess where I learned this one from? I learned this from all of my friends who go to Naparima Girls College. Because why? Ever since I was in Form 3, and even before that, go to lessons, see them, open their pencil case, 4 billion highlighters. I'm not exaggerating. NABS Guild are the best in this. This is why they win so much scholarships. Oh, shout out to Ari Ramkilawan. She just got a scholarship with NABS Guild, my cousin's daughter. So the thing is, they make sure to underline what matters. The reason being is, let's say you're studying and you have a whole page. If you're studying 2-3 days before the exam, you can't reread everything. That is impossible time-wise to reread that entire chapter. But if you have the main points extracted from that, if you have it highlighted, underlined, same thing goes for the question. If you underline the important points, your brain will, your reticular activation system, well, I don't want to get too complicated, that's what we use to focus. Like for instance, right, let's say you as a parent, if you're a parent watching this, and you're going to buy a new car, and the new car is red, or let's say you're going to buy a Diesel, controversial. Everybody says that Diesels are flooded the market. If you guys normally go to work or school, you will never, you'll just like drive to work like aimlessly. But if you want to buy a red Diesel, then all of a sudden the reticular activation system in your brain will see, like, will literally notice all of the red Diesels. So you're going to work one day, and you're like, wait a second, why does 95% of Trinidad and Tobago have red Diesels? And it wasn't that that now happened, it was there, but you were never looking at it. Like for instance, close your eyes, close your eyes, think about what in the room is green. And you'd be like, wait, what is green? And when you open your eyes, you would immediately notice what is green. And that is one of the techniques we use here at Elite Educators. We teach kids, I just finished baby class, standard 2 and standard 3s. This is what we teach students to help them master the work, right? Okay, so read the instructions twice, right? All right, let me just skip. Manage your time. Don't spend too long on one tricky question. Oh my word. All right, this is something I tell students. If you're in our past paper boot camp on Sundays from 4 to 6 p.m. All right, so this is something I tell you guys all the time. Every year, as a rule, the geniuses who create the SC exam, and actually mean that humbly and true, because I love the structure, in that the section 1 is warm up, section 2 is a little bit more challenging, like multi-topic question, section 3 is the hardest, and I honestly respect them a lot, because I honestly think it's a good structure, like from a psychological point of view. It would be bad if they put like a hard question first, but they give you the easy question. So they always put one beat question. That question just give everybody trouble. All right, I would look at this and I'll be like, bro, I'll do that later. And the thing is, that question was meant to trap certain types of students who are very intelligent. They want to complete every single question. So what they're going to do, they're going to go and spend a disproportionately large amount of time on that one question, and they're going to run out of time. So when you find that one question, now I'm not going to say go and skip out all the questions. When you find that one question that is meant to torment the whole of Trinidad and Tobago, all 16,000 students writing this exam, just put a big asterisk by it, skip it, and go to the next question. And once you have extra time at the end, remember the SC exam, it is not biased. It's not going to choose if you get all the easy marks versus the hard marks. A mark is a mark. If you get a mark from section 3 or a mark from section 1, it's the same mark. So get as much marks as you want, as you can, and then go back to your difficult questions. Don't let that one question give you trouble. And guys, there's like, I just read like 2 paragraphs from a book that is like 100+ pages, right? So yeah, prepare for success. And again, I'll give you guys a couple of free bonuses with it. Again, the first in total 50, I'll be signing and giving motivation. I'll write some motivational stuff for you guys. So first 50 we already had today. I didn't even advertise, I don't even have the books in hand yet, and we already have people pre-booking, which is kind of cool. So I'll keep doing these videos one a day until the official launch is next week, Wednesday. That'll be in February. That let me just get the exact date for you guys. The exact date when it will be available for actual pickup will actually be Wednesday, the 4th of February. So you guys could we already had people pre-booking, prepaying and stuff. So just let me know. You guys could message us on my WhatsApp 486-6450 or Mr. Aruna at 750-568-5683. So 486-6450 or 750-5683. And trust me, everything that we give to students at our physical lessons, at our virtual lessons, everything is via Zoom. All of the mentoring and stories and stuff that I tell them over and over and over, you guys get in one book for limited price, $150. After that, it goes up to $200. So you guys could hit me a message, have the book reserved, and as soon as we get the books on Wednesday, we'll start distribution. Anyhow, guys, hope this helps him. And that's just 2 paragraphs of a huge book. Take care and peace. Oh, just by the way, I use a lot of tech in it, so we actually have mind maps of the whole book. We have summaries, we have checklists, we have plans, but those are extra for free. The book itself is a lot of information, because you know some books out there, half of it is real reading and half of it is like just printable stuff that anybody could do. Now, I want you guys to get real value. I want your students to come in top 100 after reading this book. All right. So again, day 2. So 486-6450, 750-5683. Hope this helps. Take care and peace.